ever drop your spoons.
Oh, boys, I can tell you, it's so much better already. Ooh, what the f?
Oh, God. Is he supposed to be here?
I've got my eye on my next bike. It's this part's a little rough. There's only so much you can do. Oh!
Holy Ben.
I think this is the end of it. Whoa!
Whoa, I didn't like that. It's too late. Holy.
You alright?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. I'm Ben, and this is my 2022 Gen 3 KLR 650. A few thousand miles ago, I installed these dirt-loving Tusk D-Sport tires, and I've been chasing down a slightly less nervous ride on the highway ever since. I've tried overinflating both the front and the rear, installed this slightly more aerodynamic KFX 450 fender. I even sprung for the brand name Eagle Mike fork brace to try to stiffen things up on the front a bit. And if you guys missed the videos where I did that stuff, I can put a link down in the description. There was a noticeable improvement with all of the mods that I did to try to clean up the handling, but none of it really gave me the results that I was looking for. And honestly, at this point, I think this tire is just cupped so badly that there really isn't anything that's gonna make this bike handle any better, aside from just swapping it out for something new. So that's what we're gonna do today. This is gonna be the Motaz Tractionator Rals, and this is gonna be fairly similar. So not only will this match the look of the back, but I'm hoping it pretty closely matches the off-road performance of the front D-Sport while being possibly a little bit better on the highway and the road, just because the tread pattern is a little bit closer together, meaning that each of the individual knobbies should have a little bit more support from one another and hopefully not be quite as wild as this tire was. So let's get this swapped out and we'll take the bike out for a ride and see if my theory is correct. So here's the numbers on the tire. This is the tubed version. That should make it a little bit easier to install. I'll have a link for this as well as everything else that I'm using this video down in the description. And those are all affiliate codes, so it doesn't cost you guys anything extra, but it's honestly the only thing that allows me to make videos like this for you guys. So I really appreciate it when you take the time to use those. So everybody's always worried about what I'm doing over here, but the most important part of any tire change, and really any part of this process, is to make sure that both sides of the bead are down in the V or the deep part of the rim here as much as possible, because that's going to give us the most slack on the opposite side. If you don't have this down here, you're going to be stretching the wire and the rubber in here, and you're going to wreck something. Always a good idea to make sure that you are not pinching your brand new tube. Don't lose a finger though. Don't ever drop your spoons. Don't get too ambitious. Small bites are what'll get you to the end without a pop tube. Now, I've seen a lot of you guys saying that I should really try the Baja no pinch tool, or whatever the other new style of tire changing tool is that's supposed to make things easier. And I think the simple fact of the matter is there is no easy way to change a tire. You have to know what you're doing, and you have to be cautious. You have to understand what's going on. Keep an eye on everything as you're doing it. And once you get the feel for it, that's really the only thing that's going to make it easy. I've seen people wreck tires and tubes with the Baja pinch tool. Of course, I've always also wrecked a few tires of my own, doing exactly what I'm doing today, just with a little bit less knowledge. It's really no substitute for patience and practice. It's always good to be listening really close. If something starts creaking or making noise, it's probably a pretty good indication that something's going wrong. With the last drop of the Motion Pro bead breaker tool, we've got a tire. Now we just got to see if it holds air. Actually, first I'm going to make sure that my valve is straight here, and stick this little grommet back on here to keep the water and mud and sand and everything out of the inside of my rim, and keep it far away from my tube. And actually, before I put any air in it, I'm just going to go around and spot check to make sure that I don't have a tube pinched, or that I don't have that little rubber strip that covers up the ends of the spokes in the wrong spot. And once that's all good, then we'll fill it up with air and see how I did. So I went around the whole perimeter of the tire on both sides to make sure that everything looked uniform, meaning that the bead was set in here properly and that I didn't have anything pinched. Seems like everything's good to go, but I am gonna let all the air back out of this, just to make sure that if that tube in there is in maybe a little bit of an uncomfortable spot here or there, everything should kind of be able to relax. And then once I put air in it for a second time, everything should be in a pretty happy position. I'll bounce it around a few times now just to let everything sort of move in there wherever it wants to be. And then I'll check one last time that my valve stem is pointed straight up at the hub of the wheel. If it's not, basically all I have to do is get a good grasp on the rim and sort of spin the tire on the rim. Now, if you ever notice that this is crooked while you're riding, it's because, well, something went wrong and the tire got a little bit too much traction and slid the tire and the tube into a position that's probably not the best. And that's honestly what I like about these little grommets. They also sort of give that valve stem a little bit of leeway and indicate to you whether or not everything is okay in there. And if it's not, it's a pain to take care of, but it's much easier and much better than having to replace the whole tube because it ripped the valve stem out of it. So make sure you keep an eye on that. Factory recommendation for the KLR with the stock tires is 21 for the front. Obviously, this is not a stock tire. The D-Sport that I was running on here, I was running right around 28 PSI rather than 21. So I think we're just gonna start there and see what happens.
So if you guys have used one of these stands before, you'll know that what I'm doing here is sort of wrong. The outermost chocks that I'm tightening down kind of as a backup to the inner ones should actually be spaced about as far apart as you can get them without actually dragging on the bearings or the bolts. They're essentially there as basically just a safety feature so the shaft and tire can't walk off the bearings.
Well, it definitely seems a bit smoother than holding it in my hand or trying to rig up something with cardboard boxes. What this should tell me is if there's a heavy or a light spot on the wheel. So with that finally finding its balance there, now I know that I need to put a weight directly up top here. There's actually already one on there, which doesn't seem to be helping quite enough, so I'll have to find a good size. I've got a couple here that I just always keep on hand just in case. I would recommend that if you're going to change tires, just buy a whole bunch, and then you've always got them. I'll have links for these down in the description as well. The other thing that this stand is going to be good for that I've never had access to is truing the wheel, and that essentially just means making sure that the spokes are all pushing or pulling in the right direction to keep the tire as straight as possible. And if it turns out that one part of the rim is extraordinarily far away or close to this point, then I'll know that I need to tighten one side of the spokes or the other. If you tighten this side, it's going to pull the rim this way. If you tighten the other side, it'll pull it the opposite way. It does look like there is a slight wander there, but nothing that I'm going to lose sleep over. I'll just end up going and bashing this tire up against a bunch of rocks anyhow. So we'll call that good. I'll get some weights put on here so this thing can even out. I'll be honest, this is probably more weight than should be on here. I would definitely like to see just one weight, if that was possible. And I think it might be if I wanted to uninflate the tire again and then try to slide the heavy portion of the tire that's down at the bottom closer to the top. That might solve things. It also might do absolutely nothing and be a giant waste of time. So I'm just going to stick the 3 weights on here and try to forget about it. And honestly, even right now, this is not absolutely perfect, but it's a lot better than any other tire that I've ever balanced before because I'm using this stand that has a much lesser coefficient of friction behind basically everything that's going on compared to my absolutely horrible jobs that I've done in the past of trying to rig something up to hold the tire steady. So I'm not too worried about this. I don't think it's going to be a problem. Balancing a tire is important, but I don't think it really has to be absolutely precise. It just has to be good enough. Now let's get this thing on the bike. So Jerry had to fill here up at the gas station with the Tenere, and he's also got a brand new Motos tire on here. And it just says Tractionator DV on it. I actually recommended it to him because I thought it would be a little bit better for highway travel. He likes to run a little bit faster on the highway than I do and does a lot more traveling. So it actually seems like maybe mine is, I don't know, I guess a little bit tighter pattern than I thought it was. It looked like that one was going to be much more of a road tire than it is. It looks pretty aggressive. So let's see how they do out on the pavement. And then we will find some sticky Lang Lane mud and see how they both do out there.
Oh boys, I can tell you it's so much better already. Oh man, I got my highway bike back. Look at that. Holy. Now I do have to be completely honest, I did back off the preload on the rear spring a bit. I had it set way up and then was just leaving it just because that was kind of my base for all these experiments from when I had to load down with gear. And I don't know, maybe it'll make a big difference, maybe it won't. The other thing that I've noticed too is, or realized I guess, is that the back tire actually is supposed to be filled up, the stock back tire, and it was supposed to be filled up to 36 PSI when you're running a certain amount of weight on the rear, and I think I was definitely probably in that value. Definitely probably. I assume that I was probably in that category and should have been running a little higher when I had all my gear on here, but we'll see. We'll wait for a straight stretch and do my wiggle-inducing tank shake. And I guess I hope you guys understand exactly what I'm talking about by now when I'm talking about this thing having a bit of a wobble on the highway. I don't mean that it would actually start to wobble on its own when I would be going around 70. I mean, like if a semi goes past me and I get a bunch of buffeting from the semi, or you know, if there's a big gust of wind, or just me shifting gears fast or changing lanes or whatever, that's when the bike would feel nervous, and I could easily induce basically the same shake by essentially just grabbing the tank with my knees and kind of giving the whole bike a shake. So 72 on the GPS, let's give her a shake. Yeah, that's about what I would expect. A little bit loose, but cleans itself up pretty quick. Doesn't feel like it's going to continue wandering, and we're definitely doing a little bit faster than I have been with these tests, just because I've been a little nervous about it. So definitely a thumbs up on the highway so far. Obviously, this again is just a test ride, so maybe check back later, and I'll update you guys in a couple months. Wow, I forgot how cool this place is.
Yeah, this is nice.
Ooh, those are some giant rocks. Holy crap. Wow, this is messy.
Oh, the leaf problem.
You're having a leaf problem?
No, you know where they get slippery?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it doesn't seem too bad so far. Could definitely be an issue today, couldn't it? Ooh, what the f? The car coming.
Oh, God. Is he supposed to be here?
I don't know. I sure thought this was an ATV trail. I guess it doesn't say no cars, so I sure wouldn't expect to see a car out here, but apparently we did.
He said car. I'm like, what did he say?
Yeah, it's not really a common thing to see out here. Probably could have picked a muddier spot. I guess then there would have been fewer Crown Victorias on the trail too, or whatever that was. I think we'll run into some mud up here, won't we? I don't really remember.
We're in Langlade, right?
Yeah, so we should then, right? Ooh, this is kind of messy. Wow, I guess it's been a long time since we've been on these trails.
Whoa, man.
Deteriorated quite a bit.
Woo!
There's a little bit of mud. Oh, you know what? I think there's a gate up ahead that keeps the vehicles off the ATV trail. We're just not quite to it yet. There's a little bit of mud. You said you've been off trail or off road with your new tire a little bit, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
How's that been feeling? Better than the old one? I suppose it would be, because your old one was pretty burnt up too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was more on the road than the trails, but yeah, I could tell the difference. It's a good tire.
Good. Yeah, like I said, when I first saw that, I mean, we both looked at the pictures together. I think I sent you maybe screenshots of both, and I guess we had my tire in the basement already, and I said, you know, that one that you got should be a little bit more like road oriented and be a little bit less aggressive, but looking at them side by side, I think yours almost looks more aggressive.
Oh, is that right?
A little bit. I mean, just because the lugs are farther apart.
I got a lot of confidence on the road on it too.
Yeah, well, that's good. I'm still scrubbing mine in, so I wasn't doing anything too much as far as corners go, but I can definitely tell that it feels a lot more round, I guess. Like before, I don't know, I think it's just because the knobbies were so big, there'd be like a point where it would like shift the weight. You could tell there was like a very distinct like rollover where like you could tell something was happening, that you're like tipping over and the lugs were moving or something. It was just a very odd unconfidencing expire. That's a horrible. It wasn't very confidence inspiring. It always kind of made me nervous to really try to throw the bike around or, you know, take any corners fast or whatever. Where this one, man, it's just like immediate. It felt so much better. And of course I didn't really, you know, try to burn the chicken strips off of it or anything, because it's hopefully it'll be scrubbed in by the time we're done riding the dirt, but you know, otherwise it's brand new. So initial testing went well, though. I gotta say, it definitely made me feel like I could corner with this bike again.
Yeah, and as far as the wearability of these tires though, you know, like that front tire on here, what did we get out of it? 7,000 miles, but it should have been taken off at 5.
Yeah, probably.
It was crap on the road.
Yeah, and I think like I kept fighting, you know, I was doing a different fender and the fork brace and all this stuff, and by the time I think I got to maybe not the fender, but definitely the fork brace, I think that my tire was just cupped so badly that, I mean, there wasn't anything that was going to fix it, just because, I mean, it was just wore out. That was the problem, you know?
Yeah. So how fast did you go today?
I actually was having a very hard time behaving myself. One negative side to this is apparently I'm not very well behaved when I can go fast. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was probably doing 70, 72 on the highway.
Okay.
With no problem. Where before that, I mean, wouldn't have been a problem going straight, but especially when I did the little kind of wiggle-inducing maneuver where I grab the tank and shake it. So I'm happy to see that. Happy that it wasn't the rear tire, because I do really like the rear tire. And so far, anyways, this front one doesn't really seem like much of a downgrade compared to the Tractionator off-road, because that was kind of the thing and why I was trying to fix it for so long rather than just swapping it, because I really like the tire off-road. But yeah, it seems like this is maybe not a bad combination. I gotta find some real mud though.
Well, that's why you're looking for mud.
Yep.
Okay.
I was riding this trail, whoa, on my Gen 2, talking about buying the Tenere 700 actually a couple years ago. Yeah.
And now you're on a Gen 3.
Yep. And I think I've got my eye on my next bike. Have you seen any of the new Itchy Boots videos, what she's riding now?
Oh no, I saw the video, I popped it up, and I was wondering what she was sitting on, and she was saying something, and I thought it was another Enfield. I thought, oh my.
It is.
Oh,
or there is.
What did she do that for?
It's a Royal Enfield Himalaya 450. It actually looks super neat, and I was like watching her through 2 videos ride it now. It seems like it'd be a lot of fun. I mean, I know it's not maybe the the most reliable, but I'm interested to see what the specs look like. Maybe I won't buy it, but it definitely sparked my interest.
I just think they're super high maintenance machines.
Yeah, I don't know. As much as I actually get to ride my motorcycles now, though, I don't know that it'll really be a problem. I don't even think this says, oh, it's got 3,200 miles on it now.
I wish I could ride the Tiger again once off-road.
Just to compare.
Yeah. I did get that tire, which it was so much better. I think I only really took it out once with the new tire on there, but I just like to know how much more confident I am actually on this bike than I was on that one.
Yeah, I bet it's quite a bit.
Especially if you would stop and get back on the bike and had a ride again. It was always like, I don't know how to describe it, stressful, you know?
I have noticed that we'll come across trails that I'm like, oh, Dad's not gonna like this, and then I ask you and you're like, oh, it's fine. I'm like, what? Oh. Like, oh yeah, it's probably the bike.
Probably the bike, yeah. I bet a lot of those rock trails we just went down, I wouldn't have been happy about that. Still a great bike though for somebody who's gonna put on a lot of miles and just not do the extreme stuff, you know?
Yeah, and I've definitely, you know, seen people say on those videos, you know, that they really like Tigers and they think it's a great bike and whatever. And like, I think for the majority of off-road riding that people with adventure bikes do, I mean, I think that's probably all true. I don't remember who it was, Alpine Stars or whoever it was that put that video out of the 2 guys riding it. Now it's gonna get messy. Do you remember what I'm talking about, the video you showed me before you bought it?
Oh yeah, the Icon one, yeah.
Yeah, now this is what I was looking for. Oh boy. This part is messy. Seems like it's hanging on good. Yeah, this part's a little rough. Good thing you're not on the Tiger. Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not on the Tiger. This looks like where we came out with the Tiger the time it quit.
I might be, yeah. I think you've been down this before. It seems like it's got worse though. You doing all right?
Yeah, I gotta manipulate. I don't.
If you find a good spot to pull over, you should do it because there's UTVs coming too. Just to throw another wrench in the plans. I don't remember what we were saying. Just that they seem like they were.
What'd you do on this one?
I think I just kind of went through the middle a little bit.
Did you? Yeah, those tires are rock solid on this.
Are they? Good, yeah. Yeah, mine seem pretty good so far too.
Ooh.
I don't really know what to do with this one. There's big rocks over there make me a little nervous. There's only so much you can do. Oh!
Wow, there was a deep depression there.
Yeah.
Holy shit, Ben.
I know. I think this is the end of it. Whoa!
Oh, I didn't like that.
Well, yeah, I don't don't know that I'd recommend that path.
Oh, well, that's the path I'm taking.
All right, well, it worked.
It's too late. Holy shit.
You all right?
I hope so. I'm rock climbing under puddles. Woo! Well, my boots are waterproof. I had to put them down on that one. What is this?
Yeah, I know. I did not realize this was going to be that bad. I guess I said I was looking for mud. We found it now, huh?
Yeah. There's a way around this one.
Off to the left? Yeah, possibly.
Because that could be super deep.
Yeah, they definitely could, especially at the bottom of the hill. All right, so what I think I was trying to say, I am all full of mud. The majority of people that are going to ride a Tiger are not going to do stuff like this. I think that bike is good for a lot of off-road riding, but not this type.
No. Oh my God, I feel so much different about sand on this one.
About sand? Yeah. Whoa! Well, it's deep.
You know, when I see a like that, it's like, well, I can't do that.
But you can.
And I did.
Yeah, and that is the nice thing about this bike and that bike, is they're maybe not as good at doing, 80 miles an hour, like you said, like the Tiger was, but that extra bit of rake, the tire being stuck out a little bit farther, I think really makes the bike a lot more friendly to ride. Stuff like this, when the weight of the bike and the trail is kind of trying to fight you down to the ground, it's nice to have the flickability and the light steering that these both do.
Oh yeah.
And a good set of tires definitely helps too.
Tiger could do probably 145. This one, it's about 85 miles an hour. It just is really, what is it?
Squirrely?
It's squirrely. Yeah. It's freaking squirrely as.
Yeah, I think partially that's the tires, but I think it's also the just the fact that rake, like I said, it helps you off the road, but on the road, I think that's kind of what makes it sort of feel a little too flickable, I guess, at real high speeds like that.
It'd be interesting to talk to somebody with, it even comes with it. It doesn't even come with street tires though, does it?
I still have the set in the basement if you ever want to try them.
But those are street tires?
The ones that came with, yeah, the Pirelli Scorpions.
Yeah, because they're fairly aggressive though.
Well, they're aggressive-ish, but one thing is they're just like that first set of tires that I put on my first KLR, where they have like no lateral traction with the back. Here's some sand.
Whoa!
What was that?
You there?
I lost him.
Oh, I think we lost our comm. Ben didn't charge his battery. Write that one down.
I guess maybe my fork brace is partially why I'm feeling a little bit more stable. I kind of wonder how much the fact that my old D-Sport was so cupped was really affecting things negatively off-road too. I'm sure it was. Sure don't seem like I've hindered my off-road ability at all so far. Everything still seems, more or less off-road. Like I still have the D-Sport on here, and maybe it was brand new even.
Now I could talk about Ben and see all the things he does that just irritate the living crap out of me. I can't think of anything, but I'm sure there's lots of stuff.
Obviously still need to do a bit more testing to make sure that is the case, so take everything that I've said today with a bit of a grain of salt, and remember that I've only got a couple miles on these. I guess maybe 60 miles now. No, probably 100 miles almost, something like that.
He's always overly prepared, and I'm underly prepared. Really irritates me.
But until I really am able to put him through the ringer and put some miles on him, get him wore in, I won't know. Wow, that really feels much better in the sand though. I think a lot of that is my fork brace, I bet.
But he did sell me the 10RA, so I guess I'm good with it.
So apparently when you have a tire that's not old and worn out, actually has some traction left in it, and is fairly decent, and you have the fork brace on here, the bike handles quite nice. Who would have thought?
It died, huh?
What's that?
It died.
Yours did?
No, yours.
Oh, is that what it was?
Oh, it's still beeping? Let me see.
I think maybe you hit a button. You said, did you sneeze or did you run into something? Or
I just heard a beep when I was going down the road.
All of a sudden I heard you go, ah, and then it shut off. What'd you think? How did yours do in the mud and stuff?
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
I honestly did not feel that slip at all. Any slip I had was out of the back.
Yeah, that's a pretty intense tire. I really thought that these are going to be closer together.
Yeah, and honestly, I feel really confident on the road with it.
You know what though? Mine's not hardly any different than yours. It's just that these lugs are offset rather than right in line. But yeah, definitely some good options if you're looking for a match for that rear D-Sport.
How do we get into this weird sport anyway? Nobody does this. Almost nobody does this. What are we doing this for?
Yeah, it is kind of funny. I'm trying to be an influencer to a group that's so small that half of them make videos anyways. But whatever, that's all right. I don't care. I love it. So.
Me too.
All right, guys. Well, hopefully this is helpful to you. If you guys want to pick up any of these tires, take a look down in the description. I'll have an affiliate link, which is, of course, the only thing that really helps me to be able to do this sort of thing for you guys. So I definitely appreciate when you guys take the time to use those links. You can buy anything on Rocky Mountain or Amazon after you click them, and it will help me to continue doing this for you guys. So thanks for watching. Take care. Stay safe. Stay swanky. Get out and enjoy this beautiful world any chance you get.